Hey guys, Daz here from Total Reformation. Now in today's video blog, I thought it'd be perfect to talk about what to do when traveling. We're on a massive road journey at the moment, sort of about 2 hours roughly, sitting in the car. And you can do this obviously when traveling on a plane or anywhere for that matter. Because we're seated so much, our brain starts to think this is our neurological sort of position. So it starts laying a lot of fascial tissue down over the hips and starts putting you into a bit of a weird posture. That's when we sit so long, if we've traveled for so long, stand up, we feel really tight in our back, our knees might hurt, our posture basically goes way out. So while traveling, this is what I always do. It keeps your mind alert, especially if you're doing sort of long trips and you start to get a bit tired. Doing this really keeps you sort of focused and awake. But basically, what I like to do is start to work on my pelvic rotation while I'm driving. So the first thing I do is draw belly button in, and I'm just trying to rotate my pelvis backwards as if I'm flattening my back on the seat basically. And while I do that, I focus on deep breathing, pelvic floor, and just trying to really imagine that my lower abdominals is pulling upwards rather than squeezing my bum. Because most people, when they try and rotate their pelvis backwards as if they're tucking their tail under, they actually squeeze their bum a lot, and we don't want that. What we want to try and experience is the lower abdominals actually pulling your pelvis backwards. If you need to, you can actually dig your fingers into your lower abdominals and pull upwards, and just sort of get used to doing that rocking action while driving. And that's a good way, and you can actually count them if you want. You could do like, 15 reps basically, with maybe a 2 or 3 second hold once you've rotated backwards. That's a really good thing to do. And then from there, what I like to do is work on my upper body, because what happens, you start to slump a fair bit when you start driving, and you start rounding the shoulders and you get quite stiff in your neck. So I like to work on my shoulder blade retraction and really getting movement. So if I sit myself really tall, tuck my chin in, and try and elevate my head and turn my skull as if it's going into a bit of a C shape, that elevates. But then what I'm trying to do is pull my shoulder blades back into the seat, and then just play around. You elevate, depress, and round, and then start to do sort of one arm at a time. And even when you're driving, like for example coming into a corner, see if you can brace your core, tail under, keeping your shoulder blades back. And it's actually quite a cool little core exercise while driving. Make sure you focus on the road there. So there are a couple of things that I recommend doing if you're doing some long trips. It keeps your brain active, so you're not going to fall asleep. It helps you really keep a lot of blood flow and movement through your pelvic area. And then when you get out of the car, we want to do a lot of stretching as well, especially through our front line, through our hips and quads area. So I'll show you a couple of those once we get out. But yeah, give that a bit of a try. Most cars have the lumbar support, and you can adjust the amount of lumbar support. What you can do is actually get rid of that lumbar support and start to work on rotating that pelvis backwards to flatten the back out, and you'll get more range of motion. So give that a try. You might look a bit funny, especially on a train or a tram somewhere and doing these grinding actions in the seat, but it's definitely going to be a lot more beneficial for you in the long run. So that's it for that video blog. Look forward to seeing you guys very soon in our next one. See ya.